Now, there are no general rules when a camcorder mechanism needs to be cleaned. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning the mechanism when it's obvious that it needs to be cleaned, like when I'm having a lot of dropouts, even on brand new tapes. Also, I'm going to explain you why in a second. I'm cleaning the camcorder mechanism when I'm getting the camcorder new, like when I'm getting it from eBay. When it arrives, I'm cleaning the heads and the mechanism. I would not go with any kind of a rule, like every month or every year I'm cleaning the camcorder mechanism or something like that. You generally want to clean the mechanism as few times as possible because, of course, for one thing, there is always the risk that you break something. And also, these tapes are putting quite a bit of wear and tear onto the heads, so you don't want to use those too often. Now, I'm always using TDK tapes. In case you wonder, I have made good experiences with those. Never had any problems with them. I have not tried Panasonic tapes so far. I would not recommend Sony tapes. I have actually made some bad experiences with the Sony premium tapes. Those really seem to be very, very cheap, very, very bad tapes. I'm also reading a lot of negative things about those on the internet. So I better stay away from them. Now, there is something that's very important about these MiniDV tapes, and that is there are two different kinds. Like the tape, what's basically going on is as the tape is running along in the mechanism, the head drum is spinning at a very, very high speed. And so the producers of these tapes are using lubricants on the tape so that the tape can run across the head drum while that is spinning without problems. The big problem is, and that's the thing you always want to watch out for, is that the producers are using two different kinds of lubricants. There are ME tapes that usually is printed onto the package of those tapes. There are ME tapes, I think those are the TDK tapes and the Panasonic tapes. And there is another kind of tape which is called MP, and that usually is Sony and I think a few other producers as well. But generally, you don't want to mix the ME and the MP tapes. So, for example, don't mix Sony with TDK tapes. Because what happens is the lubricants, of course, are kind of building up inside the mechanism over time. And the problem is when the two types of lubricants, ME and MP, are getting mixed up, they are forming a really, really nasty stuff that's very hard to clean off. I don't know if it's even possible to clean that with cleaning petrol, and that does mess up the mechanism over time. And I actually experienced that. I have had a Panasonic camcorder. It was a rather low-end model, and what I did, just because I didn't knew about this all back in the days, I mixed up TDK with Sony tapes. Just used them, you know, whatever was lying around, I just used. And as time went by, I ended up having more and more and more and more dropouts in my recordings. And when I got the camcorder, it didn't have any dropouts whatsoever. So that really does prove that you shouldn't do that. Mix the ME and the MP type tapes. Now, you also may say, well, this is a Sony camcorder, so it has to be used with Sony tapes. That's wrong. A camcorder, no matter what brand it is, is always going to run with both kinds of tapes. You just don't want to mix them. Why I'm cleaning camcorder mechanisms when I'm getting a camcorder from eBay or from somewhere else, when I'm getting one new, like, not new but used, is because you can never know which kind of tapes the previous owner used. And when you're using MP tapes or ME tapes, while the previous owner used MP or ME tapes, like, just the kind that you don't want to mix up, you're in problem. You're in trouble, and you can never know. So it's better to clean the mechanism before you even start using the camcorder to prevent any further trouble. So, okay, I don't have anything else left to say, so hope you've enjoyed this video, hope it was useful. I guess it's going to be a rather long video, I apologize for that, but well, see you again soon.